These are the Hoka Speedgoat 6, and as a knee, foot and ankle specialist, I'm going to give you a breakdown of the different specifications of these shoes, the performance, how they feel, and the influence they'll have on your feet as you walk, hike or run in them. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is the stack height in the shoe. So you've got 40mm of cushion at the rear foot, 35mm of cushion at the forefoot, giving you a 5mm difference from the back to the front of the shoe. You've got Hoka's standard CMEVA cushioning within the midsole. So it's a relatively firm midsole, and these are the Gore-Tex version, which tends to be even a little bit stiffer, but in both versions you've got a relatively firm, a relatively snappy cushion within the shoe. The high stack invariably makes it a little bit more unstable compared to a lower stack shoe, so that's important to keep in mind if you've got issues with like peroneal tendonitis or posterior tibial tendonitis. But they have tried to counteract this by adding some sole flare, so you can see how the sole comes out slightly wider than where your foot sits in the shoe, adding extra elements of stability. It gives you a broader base of support, greater contact with the ground, and therefore makes the shoe a bit more stable. They've also added some sidewalls along the heel to the midfoot and in the forefoot. So these sidewalls come up along the side of your shoe, both on the outside and on the inner aspect, and they help cradle your foot, adding extra elements of stability, helping to reduce the amount that your foot can slide from side to side when you're changing direction, when you're going downhill. In addition to that, they've added a relatively stiff heel counter, so again it tries to keep your foot nice and stable, reduces how much your foot can move from side to side. You may not enjoy that if you've got a history of issues like Haglund's deformity, as it can just compress against the back of the ankle. Underneath the shoe you've got 5mm multi-directional lugs with Vibram's MegaGrip sole, so it's really good for technical terrain, wet rocks, muddy terrain. Got plenty of grip in there, and historically it's been known as a road to trail run. I think it can be used for both, but it's just important to keep in mind that the 5mm lugs are likely to wear down quickly if you're running on concrete or tarmac quite a lot, but you can definitely transition from road to trail without any problems, and the multi-direction lugs can definitely handle technical terrains. On the upper, they've revamped it from the Model 5, and they've got an engineered mesh on top. It gives you a little bit better of a lockdown. One of the criticisms that we always have for Hoka is that the toe box is quite narrow and it tapers very early. So it's very important to keep in mind if you have any history with bunion pain, Morton's neuroma or bunionette pain, this quick taper can compress your toes and irritate it a little bit. This is the normal standard width, but it does come in a wide version as well, and that can provide some relief, but it still does taper a little bit at the end stage towards your toes. Then as we move on to the tongue, is another slight criticism that we have for Hoka. They made the tongue on the Speedgoat 6 very thin. It is gusseted, so it won't slip from side to side, but that thin tongue with tight laces can cause some compression at the front of your ankle, especially when you're wearing them for long distances, or if you're running downhill for long periods of time where you get greater pressure on the front of the ankle. It's got nice amount of padding around the heel cup, and it's a nice height, so it won't press too low down on your ankle. In terms of performance, what we'd say it's really good for is moderate to long distances. So the reason that we'd recommend it for that is because the amount of stack height in it, the amount of cushioning in it, whilst it's quite firm, it will, because of the height of the cushioning, it will allow you to go for longer distances. So it's not a shoe that we'd recommend for sharper, more up-tempo sessions like the La Sportiva Mutant. Overall, it's an excellent shoe. I think it's an improvement on the Speedgoat 5. The upper is slightly better, and you've got a little bit more snappiness to the CMEVA cushioning. If you've got any questions on it, please leave them in the comment section below. If you found the video helpful, we've got loads of reviews on trail shoes with regular reviews planned.